Ho ho! Welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have the 12 dates of Christmas, and I spent 99 cents in this hat, and I'm getting my use out of it. Year round, because yes, it's Labor Day, but we're going to celebrate Christmas Eve 12 times. Yeah, in this movie. Anyway, if you see it. You may not, but I have. I've seen this thing. It is an ABC Family film. Well, that's where it premiered. It's an hour and 27 minutes long. It's from 2011, and it stars Amy Smart and Mark Paul Gosselaar. You might know him as Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, but yeah, it's one of those. I hate to brand it because I mean it's an ABC film. It's a Disney film technically, but it's a Hallmark film. It's a Hallmark Channel film type of thing. It's a romantic comedy that involves Christmas, and it's about setting your priorities right. And this is also it's a romantic comedy where about falling in love and doing all that stuff. You know what? If you can't see there we go. If you can't see this, then what's the point of even wearing? I'm just wearing a white bandage. Anyway, so this focuses on Amy Smart, who plays I forgot her name, Kate Stanton. She is an advertising. She's in advertising. It's a small bit, but the fact that it's how it has nothing to do with the plot or her character or anything else. It doesn't add anything to her. But why is every single woman in one of these movies? They either work for a magazine, they work for advertising. It's just weird. It's just why is that the only thing women can do? Or they're a secretary or something. How is it a thing? I realize it's probably weird. It's sort of a amorphous blob type of job where you don't exactly know what it is, but it might be just like your job, so that you can make it easier for the women who watch this to go, I identify with her. She has a job that might be like mine because I work in an office, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It just seems weird that that's the case. I completely wrong, and I hope I didn't offend anybody by assuming such things, but that's just the way it seems to be. Anyway, it's Christmas Eve. She's hanging out with her best friend, shopping at the last minute for her ex-boyfriend, who she hopes to meet up with that night, but she also has a blind date set up by her stepmother. Yes, that's what happens on Christmas Eve in the big city. Thankfully, this is not one of those cliche things where it's the busy girl from the city, and she goes home and then she meets a lumberjack or something in her small town. And they fall in love. No, that's not what this is. She doesn't learn to slow down or anything else. She actually puts it into high gear because this is actually technically another holiday movie. It's like Groundhog Day. Bill Murray living the same day over and over again for probably thousands of days, millions of days possibly, and he grows and changes from that until he learns to break the spell and somehow move on to the next day. And we've seen this in other films and other shows and that make use of this trope, giving a second chance, third chance. Well, in this case, Katie gets 12 chances. She doesn't realize that there are actually 12 chances, but it all ties into the title, 12 Dates of Christmas, and it also ties into Christmas, like the 12th day of Christmas, give to me, that thing, which I kind of find it funny that the two main characters agree that it's like the worst Christmas song. Excuse me. Oh, no editing. That was an awful sneeze. Oh man, what is in the air? Anyway, so yeah, she gets stuck in a loop where every night at midnight on Christmas Eve, she then suddenly wakes up on her back in the department store where she has just been sprayed in the face by a cosmetics girl and falls unconscious. I'm going to break this to you right now. You're going to say, what is the mechanic that puts her? Is this a Santa Claus thing, or elves teaching her a lesson? Frosty the Snowman involved somehow, and then he's teaching her a lesson. No, there's no logic to this whatsoever. There's no uh, named entity. There's no use of quantum physics that's used to explain what's happening to this girl. She just has a really dumb situation on Christmas Eve that she somehow has to make work. And prior to all that, she gets knocked unconscious by a perfume spray and wakes up at first immediately, and then every night at midnight, when she's whether she's awake or asleep, she suddenly is snapped back. Time flips backwards. You see her clock, her old school flippy number alarm clock, go backwards, and she wakes up on her back in that department store over and over and over again, 12 times. So, I'm actually going to say this. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. I mean, it's... Come on. Okay, yes, I'm watching a Christmas movie in September, but I can't really discount it. It's not their fault that I'm watching it, that the fates decided. And this movie is all about fates and destiny. So I'm going to have to roll with that. But it's... I just don't... I don't... Hallmark type of movies, Hallmark Channel type movies at Christmas, it's like crack to some people. I won't say who. It's like crack to some people, where it's the same people, the same actors playing the same characters in the same locations. They actually once shot in my small town hometown. They actually shot an establishing shot in my hometown for a movie that was actually filmed in Canada, but took place in Georgia or Texas or something. It does Texas, yeah, made no sense. Anyway, that's a side thing. Anyway, the point of this is that Katie is trying to go back. She's trying to make things work with her boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. And she shouldn't possibly. She really shouldn't be going that direction. And this follows all the normal states of people who get trapped in loops. You think it's a dream. You think that it's none of this is really happening. You think there's no consequences. Once you realize that, hey, this day is looping over and over again, I have no consequences. I can do whatever I want. Hers are fairly cliche and tame. And believe it or not, she does not make use of that until like the seventh day. She goes in pretty late on that, but she figures out what's going on. She realizes it's not a dream pretty quickly, and tries to make it about Jack. Tries to make it about reconnecting with Jack, even though Jack is very much moved on. And so that is one of the nice character elements about this, is that she doesn't immediately use these days to better herself. She doesn't immediately make use of these days. Well, I mean, it's always in the trope that usually they start screwing around with stuff, or they make mistakes, or they try to force something, and so that's sticking with that. But I think Amy Smart, she's gorgeous, but she's also kind of got that real girl kind of thing going on, the real woman, like average woman looking thing going on with her. At least how she expresses herself. She's sweet. She's grumpy. She's got the whole range, and it's believable. She seems like a normal, real person that I could know in real life, or you could know in real life. But that's neither here nor there. But she seems like a normal, real person in this, and not just sort of an archetypical Christmas chick. Like we've seen that, like the main woman is always like either obsessed with Christmas, or she has Christmas ripped from her, and she has to build up towards Christmas, while boyfriend back in the city hates Christmas, but new guy that she kind of connects with, or at first hates and then loves Christmas. Like, it's all at Christmas. This is this could technically have existed without the Christmas thing, but it ties into it because, again, those type of holiday movies are all the rage, and ABC Family was doing the same thing that Hallmark Channel was doing, the same thing as Lifetime Channel was doing. By the way, they do make a Lifetime Channel joke in this, and I think it's aware of what it's doing. I think the writers are aware of what they're making here. It's kind of the story that, though it's I mean, what is the thing that breaks her out of the loop? Obviously, she has to break out of the loop at some point, otherwise, she may go mad. I think she learns that it's not all about her, and it's about making connections with the people in her life that she pretty much just breezes by half the time, whether it's her neighbor or some guy that she suspects knows more than he does about her situation in the bar, because he's always in the same space and looking at her kind of weird. Um, Other situations, relationships she has in her life with her stepmom and her best friend. It's rarely. Each day is very unique. She also learns a lot about Mark Paul Gosselaar's character, whose name, by the way, he's really far down on the list. I don't know why. Miles. His name is Miles, and by the way, he is honestly the perfect guy. I mean, she's the guy before her, Jack, super handsome, and I mean, these guys are physical gods, and they're both super nice. Like this, like her ex is not a jerk at all. He's just been able to move on where she hasn't. And Mark Paul Gosselaar, every time she interacts with him in a different day, and she tries to sort of game the system here, when she realizes, yeah, I might kind of like this guy, she tries to find different ways to connect with him sooner rather than waiting for the blind date that she's supposed to go on with him. We learn more. The onion gets peeled, and she learns about him, and every time he gets better. He helps underprivileged kids, plays hockey with them because Gosselaar's Canadian and he knows how to skate. Um, yeah, somehow they must have thrown that in there for him. I don't know, but he takes care of kids and on Christmas Eve, like everybody's got a really busy Christmas Eve. I mean, that's just a given. He just there's a lot to him that keeps getting revealed, and you're just like, there's not a crap thing about this guy. How can you not fall in love with him? So it's just everybody's way too perfect in this, except for Kate, who has some things to work through. But even in the end, she comes to the realization that not everything's about her, and I think the only thing that I really didn't like about the ending is that it means that, and this could be very personal to me, but it means that everyone is happy if they have somebody, if they suddenly get a relationship. Like a relationship is the key to breaking that chain of misery. And once everybody is hooked up, not like hooked up because it's still Disney, once everybody has found their other, they've now found worth, and they've found life is good, and Kate finds Miles, and her best friend finds some other guy, and they're cool with the dad and stepmom, and there's another girl she meets randomly in the park that she has seen around town and parties with one of the nights, and then becomes best friends, but of course the next day she has no idea who she is. Well, Kate does, but the other girl has no idea who Kate is, and she works out a relationship for her. Like, everything gets fixed, so everything is perfect, and then the spell is broken. Yeah, I ruined it for you, but you weren't going to see this anyway, more than likely. If you were, you probably have seen it already. But either way, you might forget about this by the time Christmas rolls around and go, hey, should I watch this? Well, let's check with Doug. Well, Doug will tell you, and it's not bad. It's not horrible. And in fact, what won me over was the line, "That's what Christmas is all about. Rat feces. I've been reduced to rat feces." That's a line that comes out of Kate's mouth, out of Amy Smart's mouth. I've been reduced to rat feces. I realize it's totally out of context, but if you watch it just for that line, there you go. Also, by the way, there are cute dogs. At least two cute dogs in this movie. If you like dogs and you're getting bored and you're getting distracted, you're like, oh, look, cute dogs. That helps. That helps. But yeah, it's you're not going to be treading too much new ground. If you enjoy seeing Amy Smart, Mark Paul Gosselaar, then this is the movie for you. But there are much worse Christmas movies out there, even on Disney Plus. But yeah, both Mark and Amy's dialogue is, I think, well written in their interactions. They have a nice chemistry. I think that works well. So, and you can empathize with Amy. Well, Kate, you can empathize with her and the things she goes through. Yes, things are a little wrapped up a little bit too neatly in an hour and a half. But yeah, it's the way it's going to be. It's to be expected. It's not going to be too complicated. This is not Dune. Okay, there's not a whole lot of thinking involved in this. It's more emotional. So yeah, I you know what? If you're looking for one more Christmas movie that you haven't seen, you could do worse. It is, yes, the name is dumb, and it's needlessly put together. It's needlessly created in order to make sure this is that type of movie, that Christmas movie. She could have learned to have other people love each other and bringing people together, and also just in being part of other people's lives and interacting with them, which enriches her life and hopefully enriches their lives, which it did in this film. So it's, whether it's neighbors or family or friends, or friends of friends, it shows that it's a worthwhile endeavor and it can enrich your life, even if you don't find romance. But everybody finds romance in this, and everybody's in love, and it's awesome. So, anyway, there's a Jordan Sparks and Michael Bublé song in this as well, along with, I can't remember if it does start off with a very poppy Christmas song that looks like it was pulled out of a Disney kids hits kind of thing. It's so generic. It put a bad taste in my mouth right from the beginning. It's like they all have to be programmed to have that type of song, unless it's like country flavored, then it has a twang to it. But this is just not. That was one of my least favorite things, and that's how it starts out. By the end, you like the characters, and everything works out. Everybody gets a happily ever after. So that's what you want out of your movies, especially Christmas time or Labor Day or Groundhog Day. Here you go. 12 dates of Christmas. I've talked enough about that now. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
146.
Okay. I wait for you to say it. I see it, but I need you to say it. 146. I didn't reset this. Come on. Load. It's taking its time. So what have you done? How have you been lately? Come on. Try it again. No, I'm not going to rate this app. It's just Excel. I'm sorry for wasting your time on this, but this is the... Oh... I was hoping for a short, considering how long this one has gone. But nope, we get the one that's smack dab in the middle of a pile of shorts. This one is maybe more closer to the season. I'm not sure. But it is... Don't Look Under the Bed. I'm feeling this is some sort of kids Disney Channel kids horror film. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but you don't look under the bed. We're not going to look under the bed on the Disney Plus 7-Day Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.